Former U.S. President Donald Trump has condemned the felony charges brought against him as a fake case aimed at interfering with the 2024 election.
He demands the case be dropped immediately. Mr. Trump made those comments a short while ago, delivering a defiant message targeting Democrats. He spoke in Mar-a-Lago, his home in Florida. Just hours earlier, he was charged in New York on 34 felony counts, pleading not guilty to all of them, in the historic first-ever case of a former U.S. president arraigned on criminal allegations.
The New York prosecutors claim he falsified business records and 3 hush money payments in a bid to cover them up ahead of his candidacy for 2016 presidential election.
Thank you very much, everybody. And we have to save our country. God bless you all. God bless you all. And I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
Earlier in New York, the billionaire pumped his fist as he left Trump Tower to make his way to court to face the charges. He said on social media that it was surreal that he was going to be arrested. The television cameras were not allowed in the courtroom, but photographers were let in for a few minutes.
He spent an hour inside, speaking up only to say not guilty. Reports say he glared at the press and looked annoyed. The 3 alleged hush payments involved a total of $310,000, supposedly paid to people in a catch-and-kill scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump win the election. Prosecutors say $30,000 was paid to a doorman who claimed Mr. Trump fathered a child out of wedlock, with bigger payments going to 2 women.
$130,000 went to porn star Stormy Daniels to buy her silence over a 2006 sexual encounter, and $150,000 to a second woman not named in court papers, but previous reports say she is a former Playboy playmate, Carrie McDougal. And Mr. Trump was released from custody without any pre-trial restrictions and immediately returned to Florida. He's due back in court in December with a trial as early as January. His lawyers say he's frustrated and upset as prosecutors believe they have the evidence to prove their case.
Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the insufficiency of this case. And I will say this to you. Today's unsealing of this indictment shows that the rule of law died in this country. Because while everyone is not above the law, no one's below it either. And if this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today.
34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Mr. Bragg has faced criticism from Trump supporters that the case is political, something that is fueling the country's polarized state of politics.
This is a dead case, and then Alvin Bragg wants to bring it back from the dead on a pure reason of politics.
This is not a witch hunt. He's committed crimes. We know that. And we hope that he's finally going to be held accountable. You know, I think it's his willingness to commit crimes that scares everybody away from holding him to account. And so we hope today is the beginning of a long series of potential prosecutions ahead.
For more, Will Denzo joins us from New York. Will, we've just heard President Trump's speech in Mar-a-Lago. What stood out for you?
Well, of course, we heard from the judge a little earlier this Tuesday calling for all sides to lower the temperature as this case moves forward. And we heard directly from Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago calling out the Manhattan District Attorney, who he described as a failed district attorney who knew he didn't have a case against the former president. He once again reiterated a point that Donald Trump has said on social media in recent days, accusing Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, of being the one who leaked some portions of the indictment to the press, and that it was Alvin Bragg, not the former president, who was a criminal, and he should, at the very least, in the words of Donald Trump, step down from this investigation. Donald Trump also very much made the point that this wasn't just about this alleged hush money case, but this is a wider point, as he put it, about being weaponization of the justice system. Now, Donald Trump went through categorically the various legal cases that he still faces, both here in New York and around the United States, be it Letitia James, the New York Attorney General's investigations into whether the Trump business inflated or deflated the value of its properties for favorable tax returns, or if it's the alleged mishandling of classified documents, or if it's things to do with the alleged electoral interference in the last presidential election. So Donald Trump very much tried to paint a case to his base that this is a part of a broader conspiracy against him and an effort to thwart him ahead of the 2024 elections.
And Will, now that Mr. Trump has entered a plea, what's next illegally for him?
Well, we can expect some fierce legal wranglings going forward. Of course, we've heard from one of Donald Trump's legal representatives, Joe Tacopina, who has said in recent days that they will likely go with a motion to dismiss the case. He said that will only happen after they've had the opportunity to start dissecting the indictment. So that leads us to believe we could see a motion to dismiss coming soon. Now, the judge gave us a bit of a blueprint as to what we might expect from the teams going forward, some timelines to look at. By the start of August is when Donald Trump's legal team have to file their motions for prosecutions. That comes in September, and for the judge to make its orders by December. So all that means is that we can expect some very fierce legal fighting in the coming weeks in a legal battle for Donald Trump that could potentially last for months.
All right, Will, thank you very much for that update. Will Denslow in New York for us.